What's going on, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. Casper's Kicks once again. Appreciate y'all for stopping in and checking out the channel. So, a couple days ago on March 19th, we actually got some interesting information that I'm going to be talking about in this video, and it's about Footlocker and them closing stores. Now, before I jump into that information, today was the release date of the Nike SB Jordan 4, the Pine Green colorway. So I'll talk about that shoe really quickly before I jump into this Footlocker information. So, on Sneakers, and Sneakers was the only actual place you could get pairs today. I know Undefeated had their raffle winners and losers go out today. I took an L on the Undefeated raffle, but on the Sneakers app they had a men's 4 through men's 15. They had a total of 41,397 pairs, so not a ton of pairs. I would say a decent amount, but we've had a lot more 4s drop when we've had more GR4s. But I ended up taking an L on Sneakers app this morning. I tried to get my size, but I just had no luck. If y'all took a dub on the Sneakers app this morning, let me know in the comments. I know they released at skate shops last week. I really didn't enter any raffles or anything, so I think I'm going to just end up moving on from this one. I don't want to pay resale on this shoe right now. It's been going, I think my size is in the 400 range right now, which I just don't want to pay that right now. But if you, like I mentioned, if you caught a dub on Sneakers app this morning, or if you plan on paying resale in the on the shoe, let me know in the comments what y'all's plan is. Now, going to this Footlocker information, now this came out Monday, which was March 19th, and there were a couple different sneaker sites that posted this. I know I saw Nice Kicks posted it and Complex Sneakers posted it, but the post basically said, let me go to it, it said, Footlocker to close nearly 400 malls or 400 mall stores by 2026. Now, when I saw this, I was just like, oh, that's very interesting. So, it's now Wednesday when y'all are seeing this video, but I did want to get some more information before I did just make a video over this. So it was actually a well-informed video. So I found an article on Fox Business, and I'll link it down below if y'all want to check out the article. But I'm just basically going to go through this whole article because it does give some good statistics over why Footlocker is doing this, and then what their plan is moving on to 2026, and then for moving on after that. So, starting off, it just says Footlocker announced Monday that it will close more than 400 low-performing stores and shopping malls by 2026 as it shifts its focus to new concept stores. Now, the company has a new business plan. It's called the Lace Up Business Plan, and it includes opening freestanding shops targeting niche consumers such as sneakerheads, children, and higher-income shoppers. Now, the interesting thing with this, and the article does talk about it, Nike has been making a move to doing more direct-to-consumer shopping, like basically where Nike doesn't have any middleman third-party companies that sell their shoes. Nike just wants to sell directly to us as the customers. So the article does mention that, and this is from the CEO of Footlocker, Footlocker is revitalizing its partnership with Nike, explaining that companies have a shared vision of the future marketplace, aligning on growth plans in key strategic areas like basketball, kids, and sneaker culture. So this is interesting, like I mentioned, because it seems like Footlocker will be still involved with Nike when it comes to selling their shoes, which is a plus because it gives us another opportunity to purchase shoes. Now, I guess it kind of makes you wonder, will Nike still partner with other stores to sell their shoes? It's just a wait and see at this point, but I know Nike has been making that push to go direct to consumer. So it'll be interesting to see how things go plan out with Footlocker, and then also with Nike going direct to consumer. Like I mentioned, it's just one of those things that you just kind of have to wait and see. As you see, Footlocker is doing this, closing 400 stores up until 2026. So we have a couple years before we truly see the impact this will have, but it'll just kind of be a wait and see. Now, continuing on with this one, just more information. There are about 1,300 Footlocker stores and malls in North America, and the company expects to close as many as 420 by 2026 to shift its focus to better performing stores. The company said it anticipates closing 25% of its locations in A- and B rated malls, and 50%, not A and B rated malls, and 50% of its stores in C and D rated malls. And then it says these 400 stores represent nearly 10% of our total sales. So 1,300 mall locations, and they're closing 420. That's a pretty good chunk of mall locations. Now, they hadn't put out a list of what mall locations will be closing. I'm sure you'll be able to go to your mall and see just Footlocker is closing down, and you'll know that your local store was affected in this. But it's just going to be interesting to see how things transpire. Now, of course, they're wanting to do more freestanding stores, so they'll close these mall locations, move them out, and basically open up just their own brick and mortar location that's outside the mall. And now I will talk about the benefit of that in just a little bit. So continuing on into what Footlocker is planning to do. So it says Footlocker said it intends to open more than 300 new concept stores by 2026. This includes shops located outside of malls. The company said it expects 50% of its revenue to come from outside of malls under new business plan, a jump from the current 35%. So Footlocker is banking on these new stores, these new standalone stores, to be a healthy chunk of their revenue that they have coming in. Like I said, it said 50% up from the 35% they're doing now. So they're going to be investing in these stores, which is a good thing. And in this article, it does talk about how they have their new store modeling that they want to do. So it says executives at Investor Day detailed 3 new store formats, including a 15,000 square foot community store for locations with strong affinity for sneakers, and 10,000 square foot power stores that would offer an elevated experience in shopping areas with a broad range of consumers. And then the company also plans to open 7,500 square foot House of Play stores that will market children's products. And it looks like the article also mentions that they do have a power store in Dallas, Texas that was recently opened, and they're basically using it as a trial run. But the store is attracting an older and higher income shopper. So they're already working on this in Dallas. If you're in Dallas, I haven't been to Dallas in a couple months, but if you're in Dallas and have checked out this store, or I think it's near Dallas, I'm not exactly sure where it is, but if you've been to the store, let me know what you think about it. How's the concept? If I can get up to Dallas in the next month or two, I will for sure go and record and try to check out the store. But that is pretty much everything in the article. So it'll be interesting to see how these new 3 store formats work, and just seeing the different store formats in your local area or however they decide to do it. But it's just very interesting to see this happening. Now, of course, there are several reasons I think this is happening, why they're moving out of malls and into their own standalone locations. So there's a lot when it comes to malls. Of course, we hear people talking about malls are dying and people aren't going to malls like that. I feel like that could be one concept for it, but there's a lot of other things that go into having locations at malls. For example, rent is one thing. I know it's expensive to rent locations at malls. And then you also run into where malls kind of control how things go. So for example, if there's a sneaker release happening, like let's say the Jordan 4 SB, it just so happens to be dropping at your local Foot Locker, and that's at a mall. The mall opens at 10 o'clock, but you want to go line up. You can't. Some malls don't allow you to line up at your store just because of how the mall policy is, and it just makes things a lot more difficult when it comes to releases. Of course, we've seen people talk about where you'll go to a mall and people are lined up at multiple entrances, and one entrance opens up and others are still closed, and those people get in first. It's just a lot that goes on when it comes to malls, when it comes to releases. So that's another one. Hours, of course, are different for malls, and mall rules and policies as well. There's just a lot with malls that can be restricting for a store, in my opinion. So that could be one of the reasons. Now, when you go to a standalone store, of course, you don't have to worry about hours. You don't have to worry about opening times and various things like that, because you can control all of those things. So there's a lot I can see that goes into this, and it'll just be interesting to see how Footlocker does this, how well it goes, and just various things like that. But that is everything I have for this video. Like I mentioned, I wanted to wait a little bit, get some concrete information for y'all, just so I'm not making a random video over this and have nothing to talk about. So let me know how I feel about these 400 stores closing, or 420 stores closing. What are your thoughts and opinions on it? Why do you think they're doing this? Do you think it will be a benefit to have locations outside of the mall? I know we already have some, but getting these stores outside of malls and more brick and mortar. Let me know how y'all feel about it. But as always, hopefully y'all enjoyed this video. Go and subscribe to the channel. Hit that like button, all notification bells so you can see today when I post new content. Should have a couple early reviews dropping here in the next couple days. Just waiting on stuff to get to me. But when I get it, I will drop that video for y'all. But hope y'all stay safe and stay blessed. Enjoy the rest of y'all week, and I'll catch y'all in the next video.